If you're curious about living in Dallas, Texas, but you're not sure that this is the place for you, I'm going to go over the good and the bad in my experiences of living in Dallas, Texas for almost 2 decades. Dallas is constantly changing, and I have not done a pros and cons video in almost 3 years. Dallas is such a cool city, and it may or may not be the right spot for you, but after watching this video, hopefully you'll have some clarity on that. So just a few stats for you. Dallas has a population of about 1.3 million people, making it the 3rd largest city here in Dallas, Texas, and the 9th largest in the United States. The median home price of a home here in the area is around $350,000. While still kind of low based on some other major areas and cities in the United States, the housing prices have definitely been on the rise. This is because of the area's popularity and the rapid growth. Dallas has a very robust job market, which is growing at around 3 to 4% annually, which is faster than the national average. Some of the major industries that are here in the Dallas area include finance, technology, healthcare, and manufacturing. So the first pro that I want to tell you about is that Dallas is known for some really cool and eclectic neighborhoods. One of those being the Bishop Arts District here in Oak Cliff. This neighborhood puts you right smack in the dab center of the art and some of the trendiness of the city. There are so many pros about being in this neighborhood. It's walkable, and you can have access to dining and shopping and a really good nightlife. This area is super popular among single business professionals and even those couples that do not have kids. You may see some young families in the area, but it is not as common. And you can actually live in this area with not having a car, which is very uncommon here in DFW. The average home price in the Bishop Arts area is around $470,000. Another really cool neighborhood here in the DFW area is Deep Ellum. This is going to be an awesome neighborhood for single people as well as people without children. It is going to be trendy and an artsy community. It's also known for being super welcoming. Deep Ellum is not too far from the Bishop Arts District. In this area, you're going to find all kinds of entertainment, including great food and nightlife. A really cool area in the Deep Ellum area is going to be the Bomb Factory, which was actually a bomb factory in World War II. And then later it was turned into an event center. Deep Ellum is going to be an area that has some single family detached homes, but also has quite a few luxury condos and apartments. This area is also very walkable, and you can easily live here without a car. And finally, the average home price here in the Deep Ellum area is around $289K. Another really cool neighborhood here in the DFW area is a neighborhood called Campbell Green. This is kind of the perfect world of a neighborhood that's going to be a blend of urban as well as suburban living. You're going to have a couple of options here in this area for single family homes. It also has tons of parks and green space, lots of trees and beautiful yards in this neighborhood. This is going to be a great place to walk, and it's also going to be zoned for better schools. This neighborhood actually received an A+ overall on niche.com, and the average home price in this area is around $799K. Another really cool area in DFW is known as Uptown, or the Knox-Henderson area. This is the perfect neighborhood for those of you with little kiddos. If you love the big city, you will love living in this area. It is full of tons of professionals, and it's just north of the downtown area. This area also has tons of green space, including a very famous area called the Katy Trail. The Katy Trail is an area that we go to often to bike. So if you're into biking or walking, you will love this area. You will also have access to over 200 restaurants and about 160 shops within this area. It is truly the epitome of downtown living. The average home price in this area is around $650K. So another really good pro of living in Dallas is going to be that it is a true melting pot. There are people that are moving here from all over the world, and so because of this, you'll get a lot of different experiences and definitely a sense of community depending on the area that you live in. If you move to DFW because we're in Texas, you'll also get to experience a little bit of that Southern hospitality. So here's a pro. I think it's a pro, but some may think it's actually a con, is that Dallas has a lot of lakes. Now, if you're coming from an area that has oceans nearby, this is gonna be a con for you. But for those of you who like to get out there and do a lot of lake activities, whether it's jet skiing or even just going out fishing, this is gonna be a pro because we have tons of lakes here in the Dallas area. Some of the major popular lakes that we have in the area include White Rock Lake, Grapevine Lake, and many more. So we talked a little bit about all of the lake activity that's here in the area, but there are so many more outdoor activities here in Dallas, which is another pro. People are kind of often shocked by this to learn the amount of trails that we have for hiking, biking, mountain biking. So there's so many activities for you to do if you're one of those outdoorsy people. So another pro of living here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is definitely one that I benefit from because I love to travel, is going to be proximity. Because the DF airport is so close, depending on where you are in the city, you can jump on a flight and typically get anywhere that you want fairly easy, especially because Texas is centered right in the middle of the nation. DFW is going to be the hub for American Airlines as well as Southwest Airlines. So this makes it fairly easy for those of you who like to travel. So another pro, is also one of my favorites, is going to be the weather. I am super cold natured, and so I actually prefer to be in an area that has mostly warm weather. You'll often hear people talk about how hot it is in Texas, but for me, this is one of my favorite parts. I prefer to be in the heat over the cold. This is why this is on my pro list. 9 to 10 months out of the year, the weather here in Texas is actually pretty awesome. It is not uncommon to wear shorts or a t-shirt at Christmas. We often have days in the middle of the winter where the temperature is set to anywhere between 60 and 70 degrees. So if you're looking to move to an area where we have 4 seasons truly, the Dallas area may not be for you. And if you're looking to shovel snow every winter, the Dallas area may not be for you either. Another pro about the DFW area is going to be shopping, eating, and entertainment. If you love to shop and you like to eat good food, Dallas offers all of that. There are so many shopping areas here in DFW, including the North Park Mall, Galleria, Lower Greenville, Deep Ellum, Clyde Warren Park. The list goes on and on if you're looking to get your shop on. Dallas is also not lacking in the entertainment area. We of course have major sports teams like the Dallas Cowboys and the Dallas Mavericks, as well as the Texas Rangers and the Dallas Stars. This is an area also too that's always almost going to be on the list of the major stars for any of your favorite concert series. So another really good pro about living here in Dallas, and also just the state of Texas overall, is that we do not have state income tax. This can be a significant impact to your annual income of about 12%. So that is definitely one of the reasons why we continue to have people move into the area, is that overall tax savings. Another pro of the Dallas area, and also Texas overall again, is that Dallas is a hub for many large corporations. There are many companies moving here to the area that creates kind of that awesome growth and many job opportunities for those in the area. Okay, so we've talked enough about the things that I love about Dallas and some things that other people love about Dallas. Let's tell you a little bit about some of the cons of living in the DFW area. And number one, for sure, is going to be the traffic. Because of all the growth in construction, this can often lead to a lot of traffic delays. It is not uncommon to be stuck in traffic because of the work that's going on the roads or the construction, as well as the accidents that get caused in the area. So it's definitely a major con. I want to say that Dallas ranks in the top 10 of the highest traffic in the nation. And so it's definitely something that you have to be mindful of if you move into the area. So with the traffic comes kind of another con, which is going to be the Dallas highways. There are a lot of highways here. So if you're not used to that, it can actually kind of be overwhelming. It's easy to miss exits and it's easy to miss your turn if you're not paying attention. Most of the highways here have over 5 to 6 lanes. They can be hard to navigate. There's HOV versus non-HOV lanes. So if you're new to the area, it can be quite overwhelming and it can take you a little bit of time to learn. So another con of living in the Dallas area is going to be its public transportation. We actually spent New Year's Eve this past year in New York, and it was so easy to get around. I cannot imagine having a simple public transportation system like that here in Dallas, Texas. It would be so amazing, but we don't. Dallas does not have the best public transportation. It is really not really robust. It is kind of hard to navigate. So if you're coming from an area like New York or Boston or Chicago where the public transportation is really, really good, Dallas is definitely going to be an area that is a con for you in regards to your public transportation. Dallas is definitely a city that leans more towards those who love their cars. So another con about the Dallas area is that there's really not a lot of bike lanes. There are some cities that are really bike friendly and very conscious of the people that are biking. And so we may have some of this in some areas, but throughout most of DFW, they're not very consistent with supporting bike lanes in the area. So one of my pros was to tell you about the advantages of not having income taxes, but one of the cons is actually our higher property taxes. This is something that can totally catch people off guard, especially depending on where you're moving from, that our property taxes are actually higher than the national average. Again, and there's an offset because we're not paying very much in income taxes, so we do have higher property taxes. But because we have higher property taxes, there are some breaks for those of you who are homeowners. For example, we have a homestead tax exemption. We also have a veterans exemption, as well as a disability exemption. And also those of you who are over the age of 65 also get a little bit of cut and a break in the form of an exemption on your taxes. So another con you want to consider, especially if you are considering homeownership in the area, is also going to be the average of our homeowners insurance. The national average cost of homeowners insurance right now is around $1,900 a year, but in Texas, and specifically the DFW area, it is around $4,500 a year. And that is due to all of the hail damage and some of the catastrophes that happen in the area. In 2024, the Texas homeowners insurance was 60% higher than the national average due to all the storms that we recently had. So it is definitely something you want to be mindful of as you are planning out your homeownership budget. So the final con I want to share with you guys is going to be the air quality here in the Dallas area. Dallas struggles with this because we have so many cars on the road and so much car emissions. We also have a lot of industry and warehouses here in the area, so this can actually affect the air quality that we experience. So even with the cons, I know for myself, I have still loved living in the Dallas area. It has been the place that I've called home for over a decade, and I really, really do love it here. So if you feel that this is a place for you and you're interested in moving to the area, go ahead and shoot me a text or send me a DM, and we can have a phone call to get you started. Also, if you like this video, please do me a favor, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.